I don't know, should we keep this intro? It's kind of fun, isn't it? Well,
I
good data morning, everybody.
Hi.
Hello. I mean, it is morning somewhere, and we'll see where our special guest for today is. In Australia, it is morning over there. And I mean, at any time, if you think about it, it's kind of morning somewhere. So, good data morning to you. Today, we have an amazing show with, of course, Dan over here, George, and we're going to have Steve Norrie join us in a second. And we're going to talk about how you could differentiate yourself as a data professional. Last time I checked, I think Huffington Post was mentioning there are about 3 million or so data scientists. Data professionals, obviously even more than that, depending how you define a data professional. But even if we do take a look at a data scientist, 3 million people, that's definitely a lot of people. So how do you differentiate yourself? And especially on platforms such as LinkedIn, that's a big question. And we're going to learn from an actual expert. So let's bring Steve on.
Welcome,
Hi,
Steve.
Steve.
Thanks, George and Anna. Thanks for having me. Super excited to be here.
Thank you for joining us.
I have the pleasure of introducing you. So Steve is a data science leader, an entrepreneur, investor, author, academic, and technical manager by profession. He inspires people through the latest technology trends and projects. Steve also supports and showcases new open source projects, libraries, papers, and other innovations. So if you have an upcoming project you would like featured by Steve, please go to his LinkedIn profile to find the link. Steve is committed to education and empowers prospective data scientists through high-quality education and learning materials. He is a member of the Forbes Technology Council and a member of the Harvard Business Review Advisory Council. He is also an accomplished influencer on LinkedIn. He's so accomplished that he has already reached his 30,000 connection limit and has over 250,000 followers.
Wow.
Amazing. Steve has created a course, the LinkedIn Masterclass, to share with us how to rock the social media. George has already signed up for that course to learn from you, Steve. Steve is has a very interesting journey from a software engineer and startup founder to the head of data science and AI with the Australian Computer Science Society. And he's also a speaker at international conferences run by IBM and JP Morgan and so on. So we are really looking forward to finding out more about your successful journey. So welcome, Steve.
Thank you very much, Anna. That was the most comprehensive introduction I've ever had. So that's great. I would love to have you introducing and opening any of my speeches anytime.
It would be a pleasure. Absolutely.
That's great.
So, Steve, would you mind tell us a little bit more about your journey to start? How did that progression occur?
Yes. So I was a software engineer. I started as a software engineer by education and by experience, and I was just any software engineering practice. I was paving my way into senior software engineer, and like tech lead for a really interesting project about hospital information system. And to let you know, hospital information system is quite interesting software project. It will let you to get a lot of data about the patients and store all the little bits and pieces about their procedures and medicines um, and all the information will be stored in the database, but it is always difficult to query these complex structures.
Mm-hmm.
So back in that project, I was searching how we can leverage these information in a fashion that it's easy for doctors to get some idea, and also it's easy for researchers to dig into the data. And we had all these kind of tabular data and also prescriptions, which is like a kind of a free text format. I guess it was around like 12 or 10 years ago, where I just found something that's called data science or data analytics, and I just loved it. From there, I thought, yeah, that's what I was looking for. That's always has been a passion of mine, writing long queries in for SQL and trying to get something out of the database. And this is the new technology, and this is the new way of driving insights. So I just jumped back at uni. Started learning data science as a master student, and since then I'm enjoying my time as a data science practitioner.
And it clearly shows. I mean, you're sharing so much interesting content on LinkedIn. It's really one of the reasons why I started to follow you and get in touch with you, as you can never have enough of it. And some of it is really futuristic, some of it is really reflecting some of the challenges and learnings that people want to just consume. Some are really just motivational too. So it's all great content. If you are not following Steve already, please do. And I'm sure that everybody is. But I mean, how many, Diana, you're mentioning 200,000?
I said
Uh, over. Yes, yes.
250,000.
I'm sure that's growing exponentially for sure.
Thank you. Yeah, so
And-
I'm actually, that's very interesting. So I'm actually sharing my own journey. So
Mhm.
back when I was after I graduated, after a couple of years of experience, I went back to uni as a lecturer, and I started um, becoming more active on LinkedIn when I was a lecturer, because I was getting a lot of questions about what are the best resources to learn blah, like Python and Pandas and SQL and all these things that we all know are crucial, fundamental for any data science students. And I was like, I'm sharing it with my students and they are loving it. Why not sharing it to the broader audience and see what happens? And it seems that people liked it and they started following and interacting with the post. And I'm like, wow, it's a huge opportunity for me to add some value to my audience and connections on LinkedIn. It started by like 10 to 20 likes, and then it grow from there.
And that's something that I wanted to ask you in a second. Just wanted to say hello to Samir, who's joining us from Paris, and it's midnight over there. So we appreciate you staying up. I know you have to. I think you're mentioning you have a 6 o'clock that you need to be up for. So we definitely appreciate it. And Victor from Peru, and hi Hasina. Not sure where you're chiming in from. Please let us know. And Mexico and Nevada, and Angelica sounds like she's up as well. But definitely this episode will be able to review later on to rewatch it. So Steve, I wanted to ask you, I think that's one of the questions that I'm getting from some data analysts, data scientists that are kind of just starting out, or they're uh, in uni themselves, and they're picking up these skills, and they feel, well, should I share my experience? I feel like I don't know much to share. I don't know that many things. I don't have the expertise necessary in order to put content out there. Is there any benefit from it? Do you have any recommendations to them as upcoming data scientists, upcoming data analysts,
Yeah.
data professionals in general? Should they start posting soon?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. So that is one of the reasons that I made that course that you just mentioned, like how to get more engaged on LinkedIn and get the value out of this amazing social network. So the question, the easy, simple question is that nobody can kind of like literally say I know everything or I am the top expert, unless like you are one of those three guys who received the Turing Award. And if you think about it, that's crazy to only say we have some influencers that are um, able to share and others are just observers and receivers of the content. That's not going to be social media anymore. um, you can just go back to the time that the books will be published and everybody will consume it. So
Right.
social media, the good news about social media, everybody can contribute as much as they understand, and they can share their own journey. So it's not about um, am I the top expert in Python programming or R or SQL to start talking about it? Do I know everything about deep learning to share one piece of content? Whatever you have observed, it is your idea. You can share it. Some people are going to like it, some people are going to hate it. That's the reality. The moment that you get over of being judged by others, that's where you will be successful. Because no matter what you share, even right now, you will get some people that don't like it. They're gonna even
Hmm.
hate it. And if
Hmm.
you have a very strong opinion, some people are gonna strongly hate it. So that's the reality. There's no other way around it. Even you, if you sell ice cream, some people have some problems with that, right? So there's no way to please everyone. Get over with it. There's no way to become to know everything and master everything. It's not gonna happen. Like you would be 80 and still think that you're not enough. And it's just whatever you learn today that you think it's interesting for you, you take um, that understanding and put a little bit of spin, your own opinion around it, because it makes it more relatable, and share it with other people. There are around 500 million members on LinkedIn, and these 500 million people, definitely some of them gonna have the same opinion with you. Believe me,
Right.
whatever it is, even if it is like very crazy idea, but there are gonna be some people saying, "Yep, that's great." And it's not about having followers; it's about sharing your understanding and get some feedback. Sometimes you can be wrong, and that's totally all right to be wrong.
Hmm. Hmm.
Just share it and then get the opinions and learn from them directly, because sometimes you don't have access to these experts around the world, and you might get Jan LeCombe coming under your post and saying, "Nah, that doesn't work like this," and then
Yeah.
hallelujah, that's the best outcome for you for one of your wrong opinions.
And I think you've hit the nail on the head, that it should be a two-way communication, at least two-way communication, and not just a platform where you're posting your content, not expecting something in return. Ideally, you would expect that conversation to start happening and people sharing ideas and feedback and their own opinions. And I think even the LinkedIn algorithm seems to prefer that too.
Mhm. Yeah, I gather three things out of what you both said. So first of all is that you encourage people to post. And to that point, I want to say that each of us has very different backgrounds, background in different areas. So we are a unique combination of experience and knowledge. So for sure, we can generate something new based on our different kinds of experiences or backgrounds. And then the second one would be, don't post for the sake of having followers. So post for another reason, post for the willingness to share and to enrich other people's knowledge, for starting a conversation, whatever it is, not just for the sake of posting or following, but having a vision. And then a third would be, it's not about having followers, it's about having the right followers, or the followers that share things or are interested in the same things as you are. I've fallen in the trap of wanting to have as many followers as possible, but then I realized that if I do not have those followers that are interested in the same things, they will not engage anyway. So it's about having those true fans rather than having just
No, that's
suggestions.
totally right. I totally agree with that. A lot of people sometimes they get uh, the social media wrong, and they think um, number of followers is everything, which
Hmm.
is not, because then they will go in the wrong direction. They try to capture whoever is around by just posting random stuff. And what happens when they want to actually talk about their own passion or what is important to them, nobody cares about that because they just came from something else. They just came to see that elephant baby playing around the lake, and that's why they were following this guy. And then suddenly he starts talking about data science. It's like, whoa, dude, I'm not here to talk about data science. I'm not going to interact with your post anymore. And you will be left with 1 million followers and one like under your amazing data science post. So that's the reality, and I can see a lot of people are also falling into that trap, and the, it's it's amazing to see like how social media can push us to kind of not think strategically about our career and why we're doing it. So another, I guess, point is have a focus. Make sure that you know why you're here, and an audience can understand why you're here. You know, it's just both of us can be on the same page that of why we're doing it. It it's still fine every now and then to add something funny, something totally different. Just because we're human, we have other sides as well. It's not all profession. You can every now and then share something about your personal life. It's definitely don't flood your audience feed with those stuff, but that's fine to show its human side as well, just a
Mhm.
little bit also playing with the content as well.
Hmm. But and like you said, to your point is kind of identify your brand and try and stay close to it and not go into all different directions, right? When you're posting this content.
Yep, 100%.
I have a curiosity here. I know that George spends a lot of time on LinkedIn.
I
How much did you spend in the beginning, and how much do you spend now? And I know this is just a curiosity, and it's maybe more just to make a little bit of fun about it. But I know
Yeah,
that George invests some time in being on the
I
platform.
I do. So when I started 2 years ago, it was more of 1 hour a day, maybe 2 hours sometime, and I guess at some point in my career, it went up to 3 hours to 4 hours a day
Well,
because
that's
I
a
was
part-time job.
yeah, that's a part-time job because um I just stopped teaching at university and I had a little bit of extra free time, and I was having only one full-time job and no side hustle, and that became my side hustle, and I was doing it sometimes even during the weekend and during the commute time. I was engaging literally with everyone, posting, commenting, sharing my stuff, and that was very fulfilling for me, but not scalable. And
Mhm.
right now, I'm trying to manage that to 3 hours maximum, and that's still very significant because I would like to still reply to every message I receive on LinkedIn, which is like around 50, 60 a day, and some of them are very comprehensive. Like I can tell you some of these questions I receive is just like, this is my assignment and I have it due for tomorrow. Can you do my assignment? Or um, that's or I have a bug. I have a bug into my application, and the guy just sent me the whole source code, and the screenshots of the bug, and it's like, can you help me debug the code? And I receive all these different sorts of questions about different things, which is very interesting. I try to help them as much as I can. Like at least I try to show them some resources and things that they can learn from, but it's still that takes time. That's still that's just you read like 2 or 3 paragraphs and try to find something deep to add value. It will take some time.
Oh, absolutely. And I wonder, we do have Kate over here. Hi, Kate. I wonder, Kate, how did you know your name was not going to show up? Great thing for calling it out. I wonder, Kate, how much do you spend on LinkedIn? And Steve, I mean, that's just the messages that you're getting, but for each post that you're putting, you're getting hundreds of comments, not to even mention, at least 1,000 likes from what I'm seeing. So, and I know that sometimes you take the time to reply to those comments, so that's very appreciated.
Yeah, no, I
And,
try to acknowledge at least the comments, and yeah, I'm sorry if like anybody is watching it and I haven't replied to your comment. You asked something super interesting and I haven't seen that. That is natural. Please forgive me. I try to attend as much as possible, but it sometimes is difficult to literally to do it with everyone.
oh,
Right.
absolutely. And Sin,
I
I'm
have
glad that you're enjoying the topic. Sorry to cut you off, Diana. And Andrew, it's very nice to see you here too. And sorry, Diana, you wanted to say something, and then I wanted to take a question here from the audience.
I do. I wanted to know what the vision was. So when you started with LinkedIn, what was your vision, and maybe how is it different from the vision that you have now?
Yeah, but when I started on LinkedIn, the only reason I started doing it just because, as I said, I thought I have something that some people may need and may be interested, and I wanted to just try it. I just want to see if I share some content about Python programming, if anybody is interested, and that's like 3 years ago or something like that. Back then, LinkedIn was not as interesting as it is right now. People wouldn't share a lot of generate a lot of content. They would usually talk about their certificates, their job changes, and you would in your feed you will see a lot of celebrating their um, sixth anniversary at
University.
Google, and they just joined another job and they changed their photo and blah and blah. That was the feed, right? And then
Mm.
um, when when I was sharing it, I didn't know if there was any potential for anything. I was just literally trying it out. But then, as I said, like it quickly happened. Like things just changed drastically. I was watching, videos and following people like Kate, like Fabio, and other amazing people that has been there for a very long time, and it's just following them starting to add some value. But then I realized that very quickly I realized some interesting opportunities may come up, like speaking events, because still I was pretty senior, and I just because of those posts, I've been asked to present and do the guest lecturing for some other universities because people will start noticing my posts and reaching out to me. So that was just the moment click that like maybe there is some opportunity, and it's not just let's share and see what happens. You can think about it a little bit more, think about your um, branding, which we're talking about it these days a lot, like personal branding. What is your personal brand and what is your focus? Then I started learning about it. I started talking and asking questions from others and following and learning how to craft a personal brand on social media, and how to have a focus, and then how to engage more effectively, efficiently with the audience. And also I shifted a little bit later towards sharing innovations as well, because I was no longer teaching at university. So teaching was great, was part of my DNA. I always loved it, but I was no longer uh, in academia. So I started also sharing things about innovations in AI and data science and interesting
Mhm.
applications, which is more related to what I used to do as a start. Like I was part of startups, scale ups as a data scientist, and that's the major conversation in the startup environment, like what's happening in the world with, and how we can leverage the new technologies that's out there to make our product be more efficient and better. And
Mhm.
I was searching it very very effectively daily, and and that kind of helped me because I was doing it for my job and for myself. What I had to do to package it in a way that my audience would like to collaborate and interact with it and post it on social media. It wasn't any extra effort in that regard. So that totally made sense. And these days, I'm still on advisory board for a couple of startups, 3 startups right now. So it is still super relevant for me. At Australian Computer Society, it is the peak industry body for IT and ICT professionals in Australia. And part of my job is an evangelism. So I get to go around, talk about how to get into AI, data science, and also I get to talk with startups and even corporates to adopt the new technologies to kind of help the interactions with the whole ecosystem. So the kind of it is helping my um, my presence on social media, and also my social media presence helping my job at the same time.
Absolutely. Now, Steve, you do have a lot of great posts, like I mentioned before. You're always putting all this engaging content that's hard not to watch, right? As you're scrolling through the feed, it comes to Steve Norrie's post, you got to stop and you have to ingest that information, that video, that article, that written post, image, whatever you're posting there. It's really captivating. And we do have a question here from Chris, and that he's asking, is there any, do you think of posting new comments, new posts versus also repackaging or reposting other people's posts? Would there be any value in kind of resharing content that has already been shared the first time around?
100%. Like I have seen it post being shared by many people, the same post, and getting similar engagement because first of all, each person has its own audience and its own network. A lot of time it doesn't have 100% overlap with the others who shared it. So just resharing some content, it's not a bad idea. You will definitely get value. But just to add something here, um, and that's something that's probably going to hurt you if you want to be a copycat and you want to just literally copying someone or two people's posts, which I have seen some people doing it, and they just don't want to put any effort. They're just literally waiting for top 5 influencers to post, and they just copy and paste it in their own feed and say like, "Oh, that's me." Um, that's going to hurt you. Um, it's not going to give you any long-term kind of return. So resharing it is a lot better because you might get some help from the original poster. So I tend to like or comment on the people that reshare my post. So imagine you will get some kind of visibility through that, and people start noticing you if you don't have a lot of big follower base. Secondly, if you don't have a lot of original content, still you want to be available on people's feed, um, add something to that post, add your personal opinion, add some value. Don't just reshare literally what is out there in your personal feed. And
Mhm.
commenting on other posts is amazing. I have received an amazing return out of commenting and engaging with others' posts because you will literally tap into their followers and audience without doing much. It's just post something, share something meaningful under their post, and you will be seen by all of their um, followers. And if you don't have many followers, then that's a great start. That's the best way to start, which a lot of people don't know about it. They think that it will not add value to you and it will be only good for the original poster, which is not true.
I think that's an amazing recommendation and lesson for us to learn, Steve. And I'm sure we can find more golden nuggets like this one in your course.
That's exactly. I'm packaging. So the reason that I haven't talked about it, the reason I started that course. So I'm a data scientist by trade, and I've been doing it for a very long time. But the reason that I thought there's a value and that there's a need for such a course is that because I was sharing things on LinkedIn, but I was actually putting my data science hat on for a very long time, playing with the social media, which is a unique platform, and understanding how things work.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of I guess a data scientist take on social media that
Mm-hmm.
I'm going
Trying to
to share
reverse
with my
engineer.
audience. Yes, yeah, no, uh, that's the reason, and I could see that there's a there are lots of values and opportunities there on LinkedIn that a lot of people even don't understand it, and they haven't tapped into it. And like many people just come here to find a job. That's great, but you know there are lots of other ways that you can professionally be successful. People can find you for a job.
Mm-hmm.
People can come to you for freelancing, for speaking, for doing different stuff, and you can get a lot of value out of it. You could, um, it can be monetary value, or it can be credibility or visibility. A lot of things can come happen after that.
Great suggestion.
I would like to summarize what Steve has shared with us to this point and what I gathered out of this of our discussion up to this point. So first of all, have one focus, no matter if it is for your original posts or for your shares, so that people know and recognize you or associate you with a certain topic. Then the second one would be everything is a trial. Everything that you do is a trial. And if it doesn't work, you can try something else all the time. And what works, you can replicate and do other times as well. And the third thing would be to follow the people that are in your same area of interest. And related to that, to engage with everyone that sends you messages, that comments on your posts, that shares your posts. And besides those four things, would there be any other suggestion from you, Steve, from people who want to increase their following and be successful on LinkedIn?
So I want to use this question to help data scientists in specifically, because that's probably the major focus for this conversation. And so a lot of data scientists believe still that they just it's good enough to have their resumes on paper and sending it to, I mean, like even PDF, and sending it to recruiters and get a job because it's the sexiest job of the century, or whatever it is called. But that's not the case anymore. There are lots of people following the same pattern. They're all learning. If you just look at these Udemy courses, um, like Python course or data science course, they get around like 1 million
Wow.
subscribers and students. That's a lot. That's a lot of people. I know we still need more data professionals, but also we are generating a lot of data professionals. So
Mm-hmm.
now you need to uh, step up if you want to stand out of this crowd and do more. Just learning pandas is not going to help you. Um, and what happens here, you need to understand what will be interesting um, outside learning and joining the courses. And that can be a mixture of different activities. Doing a Kaggle competition, because that will showcase that like you know how to use machine learning, you know how to play with your data set, and you know how to tune your models. And that's a great way to showcase some of your capabilities. It's not going to be all. And for those of you that are not fan of Kaggle, um, that's fine. Kaggle is not 100% real world kind of representation of what you're going to do at work, but still it will test some of your capabilities. And then what else? You can um, be more active on other um, you know platforms like Stack Overflow. You can also contribute to some open source GitHub projects and share that on social media.
Mhm.
So these are like the way that you can build your portfolio. As a data scientist, there are lots of ways that you can contribute to the community and get back something from it. Just you need to make sure that you will not be visible. You will not get any credibility if you don't add value to the community. That there's no way to get that without giving to the community.
Absolutely. And I think that emphasizes your passion and at the same time comes with the extra benefit that it you become more findable by recruiters and companies and other people that would want to work with you as well.
100%. Yeah, that's a lot of recruiters these days. Just check your LinkedIn account and they will see what you've posted. That shows your soft skills as well, like how you interact with people, how um, open and um, easygoing you are with the negative comments. Even like it's super easy to understand if somebody says, your project is not interesting, what is your response? It's like it's the same thing's going to happen when you're at work and your colleague or peer or senior data scientist gives you any feedback that much be easier to understand if you will be open to any criticism.
And Steve, Payam had a little concern here when it comes to data quality topics, but I think it can be around any topics. And the fact that he wants to post this type of stuff, but he's kind of worried that other people would take his content and use it as their own, and in a way, sort of steal that intellectual property. Do you have any advice? Should this one be a showstopper of why, a good reason why not to post?
Yeah, no, that's I totally understand it and I totally relate to that. Um, because sometimes when I search my own post, I can see that being posted, not reshared, by reposted maybe 100 times. And that's something like maybe took me 20 minutes to write it, and that's not a big deal. But if you make some kind of article, come up with something amazing, putting a lot of effort, you would like to take the ownership. So that's still a little bit of challenge. But the reality is, still if you want to share something super important that you put a lot of effort, you can put it as an article. You can put it as an article. It's so clear, it has a date, people can relate to it, people can see that. And you can also kind of protect um, your content as well if it is more than just a couple of sentences in a post. If it is an article, definitely there are bits and pieces that you can follow and make sure that you own um, that content. But at the end of the day, if you are sharing it with the community, you need to just be happy that it is going to inspire and help others to learn from it and use some bits and pieces. And hopefully, if they are following the ethics frameworks, they will mention you or give the credit back to you. But that's the reality of social media. There is no way sometimes to trace and track the stuff that we share. But
Yeah.
if you stop here, you are actually putting yourself in the cage.
Mm.
You are stopping yourself to growing, right? So let's say if I stop from sharing anything from tomorrow because somebody is gonna just get it and repost it, what's gonna happen? Who's gonna win in this battle? There is no way for you to stop because of this reason. Even if you lose a lot of these interesting materials, in the long term, you will build the community that will follow and help you, and they will even protect your, unique and original content. They will even, spread the word, give you credit. And I guess if you just think about the advantages and the disadvantages, you will still have the advantages weighing disadvantages.
Yeah, thank you. I think so as well. And I think in the end, it's sort of a compliment if somebody's copying you, even though they shouldn't, and you're a little bit frustrated by that fact that you're not giving the credit that you feel that you deserve, especially because of the work that put into that post, that content that you created. In a way, flipping it and looking at the positive, it's really quite a compliment that somebody deems it worthwhile to impersonate themselves as the author of that content.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and I'm
I
sorry
love
to cut.
Yeah, go ahead.
I just something interesting. I just want to talk about the compliment. So, a couple of weeks ago, I noticed that somebody literally post not posted on LinkedIn, but made some kind of article about me, some negative article in 5 pages.
Wow.
Like somebody spent writing 5 pages negative
Yeah.
about me. It's like nah and blah, whatever it is. And actually, I found it super interesting that somebody took a couple of hours of their life and spending it and trying to find something negative somewhere. It's like this blah and that blah, and um, you know the university he went to is not top university in the world. It's 100 blah, and that's not very, and these kind of things, these kind of things. That's like little bits and pieces, and that's the reality, right? And when you are being seen by many people, you will be seen by some haters as well. That you need to just accept it, right?
Yeah.
If you think about it, I would say, even I'm not going to compare myself, but if you think about any person who is very well known and famous, i I can find a lot of negativity around that particular person. You name one, I will find it for you. And that's the reality. So sometimes, as you said, find positive in the negativity, and use that as a positive energy to grow and become more successful, and show that you are the real person that your fans and connections believe.
Absolutely. And Steve, we know you seem like a very humble person, but I can also tell the audience that we know you're a superstar in so many fields. And I think that's a great indicator. The fact that somebody spent all that time to write those 5 pages, that's a great indicator of your high status. Um, Scott Taylor and I were talking about this, the fact that once you start to get some hecklers and some people negatively commenting when so many others are you have such a positive reception to what you're putting out there, that's when you're starting to make it. When you're starting to get those negative comments in as well.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So sorry, I know we're a little bit over time, so I don't want to keep you for too much longer. I want to just address one quick question here from Deepa, and another one from Hector, which is around the same piece. And do you find any Audacity or Coursera or Udemy degrees, or quote unquote degrees, courses, to be valuable as part of your resume?
Um, so 100%, like if you learn something from anywhere, it is valuable. Um, and like you need to just make sure that you don't waste your time with the titles. Just before jumping into the course, check who is presenting it, what are the syllables, and the quality of the course. Everything matters because your time matters. And on Udemy, Audacity, Coursera, you can find 2000 Python courses, and you don't have the lifetime uh, to even go through all of them. So just be very careful about your time, but 100%, if you find the right course, if you do that, learning comes first and the accolade comes later. Just don't think about the certificate. That's like, if I put the Udemy certificate, is going to be more valuable, or Coursera.
Hmm.
It's more about the learning.
Hmm.
And
Like
I think
Krishna mentioned, it's just an indicator that you're progressing. Sorry, Diana, I keep
right. No,
cutting you
and
off today.
to Steve's point, I think it's very important to research the teacher, because some courses that are not very expensive, they're hidden gems. But it's important to see where the teacher studied, what they're, maybe look for them on LinkedIn and see what they're posting. And they might be actually very, very valuable, but maybe just those people aren't very good at marketing, but they're very good at what they do. I have one last. Oh, George, you wanted to address one more question?
No, go ahead.
Can I ask my last question is, Steve, besides data science, besides what we talked about and LinkedIn up to this point, what are your hobbies or your passions in your personal life?
So I'm a little bit of geek myself, and I enjoy some weird stuff. Like hackathons is a passion of mine. I don't know if anybody else shares the same passion with me, but I spend a lot of my weekends going into hackathons and actually participating in 12 of them. So it's a kind of social plus technical plus fulfilling into you know, solving a challenge. So that's one of my passions. And the other one, I'm a very, very good futsal, which is like indoor football player. I am like, I can
Oh,
testify that. My friends can testify that. So I I um, 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 do sport as well. I try to find some meaningful time to play um, football. That's, I guess, these are the major passions. If I get any chance out of social media and my side hustles. So on that note, I'm organizing a hackathon, which is going to start in 8 hours. It's a
oh wow.
cybersecurity hackathon. Right
Yeah.
now, we have more than 2,000 participants, and if you check hackmakers.com, it's going to start in 7 hours. Amazing participants. We have great lines of sponsors: Oracle, IBM, and amazing companies is backing it up. I'm going to speak in the opening ceremony in 6 hours, alongside the global head of data developer relations from Oracle, and the regional CTO of IBM, and a minister from Australia, and we have amazing people lining up for the event. So that's
That's
one of my
incredible.
passions. I'm going to hopefully enjoy this one as well. If you haven't signed up, please do. There's still time left.
That's fantastic. I'm looking forward to hearing the feedback from the audience on. I'm sure there's quite a few that would want to join this.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. So to conclude, I would like to go again through what I mentioned in the beginning. So check out Steve's LinkedIn Masterclass course for amazing tips on how to become more successful on LinkedIn. If you have a project or innovation you would like featured by Steve, please go to his LinkedIn profile. You'll find a link there, or you can submit it. And of course, for amazing content on AI, a lot of educational and learning materials, follow Steve on LinkedIn. And what you mentioned now in the end, make sure that you check out hackmakers.com for the hackathon that starts in 7 hours.
Thank you
And
very much,
start
Dan.
posting content too. And if you do repost, then as Samir mentioned, be polite and always thankful to the author if possible. So thank you again so much, Steve, for joining us today and sharing some of these golden nuggets with us. And as always, there's a lot to learn from you. And I do encourage everybody to go check out your profile more, follow you, and like Diana mentioned, sign up for all these great things that you're offering.
Thanks, George. Thanks. I want to say that definitely I'm enjoying your post as well. But I know that these are going to be your audience, and they already know that you're amazing. So if somebody hasn't followed you already and watching this, definitely I would recommend learning from your amazing post as well.
That's very
Thanks,
kind. Thank you. Thank you. Have a great rest of the day. Goodbye, everybody.
Everyone.
Bye.
Bye.